Hey everyone, Evan Kirstel with another great guest around cloud connectivity. Today, David Weissman from BBT Live. David, how are you?
Great. I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for joining. I know it's getting a little late in Israel, but you're making it happen in any case. Tell the folks about yourself and a little bit about your career trajectory leading to BBT Live.
Yeah, sure. I basically graduated college and started working at Verizon about 6 months later and stayed there for about 17 and a half years.
That's quite a run.
And quite a run. I had a lot of different positions, though. So I started off in sales, went into sales management, some business development on the IoT side, then to marketing, and finally to sort of my dream job, which was in PR and communications. So I was managing communications in like 22 of the states in the U.S. And having a great time doing it, getting to tell stories through data, network data, proactive storytelling around how people were using the internet around COVID, and traveling throughout the states as well. Doing TV and other stuff, talking about Verizon tech. So sort of a dream job for me, and I was thrilled to do it.
Yeah, that sounds really fun for us telecom geeks. So,
Yeah.
what attracted you to leave? That's quite a change.
Yeah, we made a decision. First of all, I'd been at Verizon for 17 and a half years. And at that point, you've got so much seniority, so much vacation built up. It's hard to describe, understanding the feeling that time has run its course, right? So I kind of needed a kick to leave. And the kick was really, the midlife crisis of wanting to relocate my family, give my kids a little bit of a different lifestyle, lower pressure schools, a little more independence, and the opportunity to jump into Startup Nation and go into a thriving tech ecosystem and try to use my experience from all those years of Verizon to make a difference here in Israel.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'd love to talk about what's happening around Tel Aviv in a minute. But so tell us, give us a snapshot of BBT Live and its sort of elevator pitch or value proposition for those who aren't familiar.
Yeah, so BBT Live is next gen SD-WAN. It's built for
Mm-hmm.
service providers. So the large enterprise has done a pretty good job of adopting SD-WAN, but there's opportunity for small, medium businesses to catch up. And we feel like the best way to get to small, medium businesses, to democratize in a way, SD-WAN is through service providers, particularly managed service providers, but all types of service providers in the US. So we built from scratch, essentially, an orchestration platform, which is essentially agnostic in terms of the technology around it, cloud agnostic, and even device agnostic. You can use any x86 processor device as an edge unit. And it allowed service providers to deploy with zero-touch provisioning and all of the great features and true multi-tenancy, which allows them to serve customers. So we don't want to stand between service providers and their customers. We're channel only.
Mm.
So we're not going to be walking out of the meeting when you come to meet your customers. We're really just created for service providers and selling to service providers for their customers.
Wow, that's a great go to market. So I can count probably up to 20 different SD-WAN offerings out there today.
Sure,
Hugely
sure.
popular, service, really the right time, right place kind of thing. So what needed fixing? Why enter this marketplace with a sort of a newer, better, I guess, alternative? Is that?
Yeah, it's a newer, better alternative, and it's built. It's purpose built.
Mm.
It's purpose built for SMBs. It's purpose built for the service providers that service them, and that's where we saw the hole in the market, where there are a lot of great providers out there with a lot of great technology, but there wasn't a single easy to use solution that you can sort of order one SKU and get it shipped to you and open the box and deploy it in your location. There were the truck rolls and all of these
Mm.
things. And for SMBs, it just doesn't make sense. They need the benefits of SD-WAN, right? Either to replace MPLS or potentially, with our solution, they have multi-connection bonding. So if they're in an area, in a rural area with kind of not great DSL line, you can then aggregate together the DSL line with an LTE connectivity.
Oh, wow.
So essentially, SD-WAN is the start of it, but it's really just one technological component within a broader holistic solution.
Fantastic. You talk a lot about reducing IT and customer acquisition costs and unlocking revenue streams and sales cycle. That's not a usual messaging from a networking vendor. Usually it speeds and feeds and inputs and outputs.
And we do the speeds and the feeds and all of the technology. But the reality of what service providers need is a solution that's going to allow them to sell it to their customers. And in an era where MSPs especially have looked to get out of the break-fix business and become consultative sales folks and full-service IT organizations, a product like ours where they have the opportunity to private label it and own their own, brand essentially, makes them a lot stickier. It's a lot harder to walk away from your provider if they are providing to you a solution that works with their name on it. So yeah, to your point, there are a lot of solutions out there, but we are super hyper focused on service providers.
We just had the RSA conference, and here in the U.S.,
yeah,
it's a hot topic. Obviously, zero trust. Tell us about the security side of your solution. Obviously, Israel is known as Security Central. Lots of cool research and developers there. What do you bring to the table on that front?
So Israel is known as Security Central, and the folks who started our company and the technology behind our company are really networking folks, right? They're really the networking folks. And we saw a need in the marketplace to partner with a really strong security brand, right? Because, if you buy from one of our well-known competitors, no one's going to lose their job for buying from one of our well-known competitors. But we needed to ensure that people really could trust our security. So we actually partnered up with another company with deep roots in Israel, Check Point, and they're our vendor for security. So we've got their device protection included right in the product out of the box, and then we've got all types of other available security add-ons for ZTNA and all of those things. With Check Point. And another strong partner of ours is Roden Schwartz, and they're doing our WAN optimization. So using deep packet inspection for insights into WAN optimization. So we know networking. Roden Schwartz knows DPI and WAN optimization, and Check Point knows security. So we put all of that together, put it under their umbrella, that is, the customer's umbrella, the service provider's umbrella, or under our B Broadband brand, and they're off and running to the races.
Fantastic. So the service provider business pretty well, obviously. Not an easy market to crack. What's your go-to-market to getting through, not just to the big tier one guys, but even the smaller
we're less focused on the tier one guys right now, because the tier one guys are really pretty well taken care of, and we're really focused on who is best positioned to help those SMBs. How do we help SMBs catch up in the marketplace from a technology perspective? And in our view, that's the managed service providers. So that's the market we're going after. We've got a great partner in the U.S. already, Mitotech, who's distributing our product to other service providers as well. We'll be at the Channel Partners MSP Summit next week with them. Looking for opportunities from service providers, from integrators, whoever's out there, to get in discussions and talk about where we can bring value and help them, build revenue and credibility with their customers.
That's great. So I worked for a couple of Israeli companies over my career. Tell us about, I always enjoyed the trips out to Israel, lots of fun, lots of drinking, lots of eating, lots of arguing, but otherwise it was a good time. Tell us about the culture in BBT Live, a little bit about the team.
The team is a really tight-knit team. It's almost like a family culture. In fact, I'd say it's a family culture. A lot of the folks that work there have known each other for many years. Most of the original team that they put together in 2020 is still at the company 3 years later, and they're really focused on delivering an unbelievable product. And when we have outsiders come in and look at what a small team of 17 or 18 developers were able to build, they're blown away by it. And a lot of that is around the culture of just always looking to push it to the next level and try to succeed. So it's a great culture. And it's basically the culture in Israel. It's very family oriented. From life, in the suburbs like I am right now, even in Tel Aviv. We went during the holidays to see the Philharmonic in Tel Aviv, and outside there was all these clowns and jugglers and all of that for free. So you see some of that in the States, but it really is a kid-centric country here, which we enjoy a lot as a family.
No, it's a wonderful environment for everyone. So you obviously have a big market here in the U.S., but this solution is pretty global. I imagine you can service customers anywhere, given all the open standards. What's exciting there? What markets are next?
Yeah, so we'll be at Asia Tech, Communicasia in June. We'll be part of the Israel Export Institute's pavilion there. We just did a show in Paris. We've got two great guys with Silver Peak and VMware credentials in their past, representing us in Paris. So we're very focused on that managed service provider in the U.S., but definitely have some irons in the fire around the world because, as you said, no reason to just keep it strictly in the U.S.
Awesome. Well, very exciting. Have a good trip to Channel Partners. I guess you can fly to Vegas directly these days from Tel Aviv. I'm not sure. But
no, definitely. I don't think you can. I'm actually not going to be at the show. I can't make it, but we'll have our guys there, Jack Lemmon and Yun-Sung Park. There. Yun-Sung Park is an interesting guy, actually. He spent 20 plus years at Samsung. He's like, he was involved in the creation of the first LTE chipset. So a real industry veteran on the cellular side, now broadening his horizons, in this connection agnostic world that we're trying to build.
Oh, that's very cool. We'll have to have him on the show sometime. I'm sure he'd be an intriguing
for sure
guest. Well, thanks so much for joining it. Looking forward to any other travel or personal, professional springtime in Tel Aviv. The beaches are open, right?
The beaches are open year round, but yeah, we'll be at the beach tomorrow actually, and we went to Italy. The nice thing about moving to the Middle East, from the U.S. is how accessible Europe is. I spent my entire life in the U.S. and except for some history trips, with family, never got there. But now I've been to Europe, 2 times already, and plan on going again later this year. So
yeah, it's a great spot, and I'll be in Portugal in a couple weeks. The water won't be as warm as Israel, but we'll see if I can go for a swim. But thanks so much, David, for joining. Congrats on all the success, and the mission sounds phenomenal. Look forward to your updates.
Thank you very much, Evan. Come visit us. We'll do a live.
Well, we'll do live in person. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and check out BBT Live. Take care.
Thanks a lot.